Hey everyone, it's Dot, and today I'm going to be making a very creamy, cheesy Brussels sprout bake. And I've already got most of my ingredients out, and I'm working on the Brussels sprouts now. What I'm doing is basically just trimming off the ends and cleaning them out, because sometimes you get little things like this and it's not very nice or pretty. One of the tricks I learned the hard way with Brussels sprouts is when I buy them, you never really know what's on the inside until you start peeling off the leaves. You can't really do that at the grocery store. They don't like that. You just trim off the ends and you just start peeling off a few of the outer leaves. I don't really take off many of them. Like that one is pretty much sticks to the Brussels sprout itself. It's the ones that sort of are curling up on the outside that'll fall off once you cut it. And this one actually I can cut a little bit more because that's going to be a little tough to eat. So there. And that leaf fell off. That's a good leaf. I'll keep it. And what I'm going to do, again, you just cut them in half and voila. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the Brussels sprouts done, and then we'll start putting everything together. All right, the Brussels sprouts are all cut up. I'm going to season them. I'm just using some kosher salt. You can use sea salt, Himalayan salt, table salt, whatever you'd like, but I'm just really doing it for taste. Adding some cracked pepper. Don't really need to do this, but why not? I want all of the salt and the pepper to get on the Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to add the cream. And I'm using heavy cream. You can use heavy cream or heavy whipping cream. Either one is just fine. I'm adding Gruyere cheese. If you don't want to use Gruyere, which is basically a mild Swiss, you can add cheddar, goat cheese, whatever you'd like. It really is up to you. Some Parmesan. Let's add our garlic, all minced, so it's spreadable. And also I'm going to add a little bit of butter to this. And I cut the butter into small squares so that when I toss this, as I'm about to do now, or mix it all together, the butter's going to spread out. So when it bakes, it'll melt all over, just for some deliciousness. I'm preheating the oven to 400. I have just an 8x8 pan here, and I've already added about a tablespoon of ghee to grease it. Now it's up to you. You don't have to use ghee. You can use light olive oil, you can use butter, you can use duck fat, whatever you'd like. Coconut oil would also be a really nice one too. And all you're going to do is just pour your ingredients in. And then you want to spread everything around. I like to play with this a little bit while it's in the pan, simply because I always find that the Brussels sprouts, since they're the heaviest, for whatever reason, always end up on the edges of your dish, rather than you want them sort of evenly distributed. I'm going to add just a tad bit more pepper on top. Then we're going to bake it for about 25 to 35 minutes. A fun little thing I'm going to add to the dish, and you don't have to, it's up to you, is I have some fresh sage leaves, and I'm cooking them in olive oil and crisping them up. And what you want to do is you want to cook them for about a minute. Nope, you got to watch them carefully, maybe a little bit longer than a minute. And what happens is they harden. And, well, not harden, they get crispy. And you just put them straight on top of the dish that you have. And it takes out a lot of the edge of the sage, so they're not as strong. And then you just want to put them on paper towels to drain off any excess olive oil. And the nice thing about it is I am using extra virgin olive oil with this. It's now sage flavored, and I'm actually going to put this, after it cools a little bit, in a bottle. And I have some sage flavored olive oil that I can use for poultry dishes. I let my Brussels sprouts cook for about 10 minutes longer, so I went the full length to 35 minutes, and I got some nice browning on top. What I did after that was let it basically sit for about 10 to 15 minutes, roughly, closer to 10, because it was just lava hot. You don't want to dig right in, you'll just burn your mouth off. So I went ahead and just put my fried sage on top. I'm going to do just a small sample. This serves 4 people. But I'm just going to give a little bit of a taste to see how it goes. And I'm going to sample it with some sage too. Bon appetit. This really is amazing. It has a nice nutty flavor to it. Between the Gruyere cheese, the sage, the Brussels sprout, it's just really delicious, and it's very moist. So it's not very soupy. There's a little bit of liquid you see in there, but it's not terribly soupy. But man, it tastes really good. There's a nice little buttery taste to it, and that's a little bit of the butter I put in there. It's a nice way to cook Brussels sprouts rather than just steaming them or broiling them. And this way you can add a little bit, a good level of fat, healthy fat to the dish as well. I hope you give this recipe a try. Definitely share with your friends, hit like and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see ya.